But I will. My name is Guy Clark, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm an interior designer based here in Palm Beach, Florida. And I have a crazy art collection, as you can see. I wish I could walk around with this camera, but it's pretty stationary here at the moment. Anyway, they're going to try to get Camilla's video back up, there's a bunch of videos that were done to introduce the artist or the art and some of the connections between the donors and the artist. For instance, myself, I have a long connection to this artist, Hunt Slonim, and for more than half of my life, I've known him, we've been friends, and it started off at an art auction, a charity art auction, believe it or not. So it's kind of an interesting fact, and here we are doing things again. Of course, this time the painting from Hunt that I donated came from my personal collection, and I'm happy to share it with the world to try to get some money into the hands of the artists in our community. Okay, so as you can see, this is 2 cans. Actually, it was originally painted for a hotel in New York City, and they didn't pay their bill. So I went and bought it from Hunt after that. He was so upset with the hotel chain for not actually paying for it that he called me up. He said, you know, I've got a special painting you might like. So here it is in my home, and it's been probably almost 20 years ago. Anyway, this particular painting of 2 cans, I actually had a much, much larger version. It was about 9 feet by 15 feet, and it's now in the San Antonio Museum of Art. I donated that several years ago. I just kind of ran out of wall space. And this one is the smaller version. In fact, the San Antonio Museum has told me that it's the most photographed piece in their collection. In fact, everybody thinks about where they're going to be photographed, and it's always in front of my very large Hunt Slonim painting of the 2 cans. So you can actually go and see it on their website. It's quite spectacular. It's just huge. It actually took up a whole wall in my apartment in New York City. So as we progress through this, you're going to see Camilla Webster, who was really the founding spirit of this whole Art Altruist event and trying to raise money for the artists in our community. I believe that they're about to go live, so let's see what they're doing. Wait a minute, hold on. We're just about to go into a video.
Welcome to the Art Altruist. I'm Camilla Webster, and this is our first event, the VIP preview for the Hindman Auction for Ary Synergy AID. We wanted to share with you some special stories this evening about what it means to be an art altruist. For us, it's not just about grand gestures. It's about having a passion for art, for your art community, and for the artists around you. And I'm so thrilled that you're going to hear some amazing stories about some altruists who just happen to support and continue the legacy of some of the greatest living artists in the world. Tonight, you'll also see a fantastic selection of contemporary works. This is my piece, Darling Buds, which goes to auction tomorrow. 50% of the proceeds will go towards Ary Synergy AID, and from there, we'll be providing $500 relief grants for artists in crisis. Enjoy the show.
I woke up one morning with the idea that I would work with all 300 colors that were available to us, that we bought these color rods from Germany. And so I put one color on the inside, then sort of a translucent or opaque white in the middle, and then another color on the outside. And then there'd be a lip wrap color, usually contrasting to the either interior or exterior color. Yes. There is a never-ending potential for color with the macchia because there are so many different color layers and so many different colors available. We could never exhaust the color possibilities with macchia.
Hi there, I'm Paul Fisher. I'm an art dealer. I own the Paul Fisher Gallery, and I've worked with Dale Chihuly since the mid-'80s We met when he bought a car for me, the 1956 Aston Martin convertible that Tippi Hedren drove in the film The Birds. We became friends, he became my mentor, he loaned me the money to buy the Flamingo building, buy the Norton Museum in 1990, and Chihuly has always been a great altruist. He has always been very free spending, very free giving. When artists need help, he would buy their work or do things and give grants. Dale started something called the Hilltop Glassblowers program. And what he did was Chihuly paid to put a glass blowing studio, what we call a hot shop, in an inner city school, and it became a very successful program. So these underserved kids and gang kids, we were able to learn how to blow glass and work together and have a career, have a skill that could earn them money. The program was successfully replicated around the country, well, in a couple places, including on a Native American reservation. Chihuly also started a program called Seniors Making Art, which is exactly what it says. So, Chihuly brought me into the art world. The beautiful macchia that we have here in the auction is, one of the most famous forms of Dale Chihuly's. He's in more museums than any living artist, so I think it's going to be pretty recognizable to most of us. And Dale also has the Chihuly Foundation, which is the Dale and Leslie Chihuly Foundation. And I'm going to read you something that Chihuly wrote. And he said, "I was incredibly fortunate to receive a Fulbright grant to study glassblowing in Venice and 2 National Endowment for the Arts grants, each of which were critical to my development and success. These awards gave me the money to carry out projects that I would not have been able to afford otherwise, and the prestige of the awards opened doors to new opportunities and gave me the confidence that I needed to become the artist that I am today. Leslie and I created the Chihuly Foundation to ensure others have the funding they need to become the artists they are meant to be." So he's my boss, he's my pal, he's my mentor. I follow his lead. And thank you very much, Paul Fisher Gallery, and my manager assistant, Midori Zaloni, Instagram.com/Midori Zaloni.
Hi, my name is Guy Clark, and I'm an interior designer based in Palm Beach, Florida, and New York. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about why I collect the artist Hunt Sloana. This is one of Hunt's pieces in my collection, and I've been collecting his pieces for over 20 years. I met Hunt originally in New York City at the New York Academy of Art, where I was running an art auction as a fundraiser for the Academy. The Academy is actually the only graduate school of figurative art in the United States. Now, during that art auction, Hunt asked me to make sure that his painting would sell, and I actually sold it to the artist Peter Max. That started a lifelong friendship with us, and I have known and loved Hunt for more than 20 years. We talk weekly, in fact. Now, the more important part is, not only do I love his work personally, but I also try to incorporate Hunt's work in my work as a designer. My type of designs span the gamut. I do classical, I do modern, I do deco, I do all kinds of interior design work, but his work always seems to transition and work well with my interiors. So that's really why I love Hunt. It's so versatile, so bright and happy, and it makes everybody that sees his work happy too.
Hello, my name is Valerie Francisco, Director of Art and Folly Gallery and a proud member of the Art Altruist. As a gallerist, curator, and dealer, I am involved in various aspects of the art industry. One of my favorites is fostering the relationships between me and my artists, many of which are participating in this Hindman Auction. I remember once an artist said to me, "May these stains give you reason." I was in awe that something seamlessly unobtrusive can be done for the general interest of society, rather than in the name of an idea, ideology, or idiosyncratic point of view. In other words, true altruism. What people fail to realize is that these proverbial stains that hang in our galleries, museums, and art fairs have a cost. That is to say, a value applied to them and an immeasurable one. Imagine you giving your soul away without a guarantee of acceptance, appreciation, or compensation. Most can't. Focus on that cost, one of struggle. The struggle the artist undergoes trying to exhibit, find a gallerist. If they are one of the lucky few that actually do get picked up by a gallery, at that point, giving your soul away for public scrutiny. Inevitably, someone at the end of the day will say, it's no more than a bunch of stains on a canvas, or a byproduct of a luxury-based business, which has implications of frivolity. But we know better. We, the art community, know that these stains are the vitality of society, because we understand when an artist creates a work, it gives society pillars of self-reflection. They offer us a definite but not definitive point of view that invites criticism and analysis. So, as patrons and people, we have to ask, what is the best response to this crisis? Will it be one of defiant resistance? Basically, there's always been starving artists, so what? One of total acceptance, in the sense that we acknowledge it and it dies there as sympathy and nothing else? Or is it one of calibrated change mixed with carefully chosen continuity? Basically, I'm going to bid, I'm going to cause change, I'm going to affect these artists' lives, because in the end of the day, we are neglecting our art community at this point, and like all things neglected, they go away, and we can't afford as a society to lose such talent. So please, bid today, buy art, support our community. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kate Stam and I'm with Hindman Auctions, and we are one of the many companies in an industry that depends upon the strength of the arts community. And in this unprecedented time, the health, happiness, and success of our artists is now more important than ever. It is because of all of you and your dedicated patronage to the arts that this community can continue to enjoy the inspired works presented to you this evening. It is because of that we are so excited to partner with Art Altruist and to support their mission. And we wish you all a happy bidding, and thank you.
Hi, and greetings from beautiful downtown West Palm Beach, Florida. I'm Bruce Helander, and this is Wilson, the studio dog. This is the painting that we are donated to the auction. It's called The Diver, Dive In 2. Like all of my paintings, are based on collages. I did a series of narrative pictures. Many of those collages are now in major museums: the Whitney, the Met, the Guggenheim, Los Angeles County Museum, Brooklyn Museum, Boston Museum, all over the place. But the collages are turned into maquettes for larger scale paintings. And this is such a fun painting. I enjoyed it, and I hope you will too. You know, I want to say that throughout my lifetime, I have found the most enjoyable part about being an artist and being in the art community is how artists care for other artists, and what artists have done to contribute to the vitality of our community and the support, especially now. And that's why I'm very proud to be involved in this, and very proud to continue on the great tradition of artists helping artists. Thank you so much, and have a great one.
I'm Ezra Hubbard, and I think a lot about art, and largely how it contributes to society, and what better way to show our support and our own individual contribution to society by purchasing art and by supporting artists. So for me, I'm presenting this piece up for auction. This piece is entitled Comma, largely as a literary reference and for my own love of literature, especially the works of someone like Cormac McCarthy, who's able to write half a page or even a full page as one continuous sentence without ever using one of these. Versus someone like Faulkner, who manages to use quite a bit of these. So either way, if you have someone in your life who enjoys literature or enjoys writing, or if you yourself do, this is an interesting piece to think about. So thank you so much for being here. Looking forward to meeting each of you in whatever way, possibly through art. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Joseph Conrad Firm. I am the artist that painted Samis Got 4-5, and I am talking to you from Kingston, New York. I am at work right now. My other life as a critical care nurse, and needless to say, I'm pretty grateful to be able to help out the community locally, but also the artist community down in Palm Beach through the effort that Camilla Webster has put together, the Art Altruist. My painting, Samis, is about renewal, rebirth, but above all, it is about hope and identifying with that hope and having faith in things to come. And I am positive that this is already a successful venture for the artists and the community in Palm Beach. I want to thank everybody for participating, and especially for Camilla in reaching out and having me participate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Mader, and I am a fine art photographer and video installation artist. I am so happy to have my beach series V1 2 of 10 in this prestigious auction, helping other artists through COVID-19 through the Ary Synergy Fund. The beach series V1 was inspired by my travels to the Costa Brava in Spain. I began experimenting with my camera in new ways, focusing on the otherworldliness between abstraction and reality. The beach series were also inspired when I moved here in 2005. I fell in love with the southeast coast of Florida and all the beach towns, and I began filming here. And I just want to thank the Art Altruist for having me in this wonderful auction, helping other artists through COVID-19. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Stephen Rudin. I'm a collage and multimedia artist living in New York City, and I'm proud to be part of the Art Altruist auction. My work is about collage as a metaphor for memory. That just like collage, memories are made up of fragments that are arranged in layers, and that adding another layer or changing one of the positions of the fragment can tell a totally different story. So my idea is about the architecture of memory and how we can change and sort of remodel our memories. The piece that's on auction is the Salon, 46 by 40 inches, archival pigment under acrylic glass, 1 of 5. The Salon is about geometry and architecture. Notice that the woman's legs and the legs of the sofa mirror each other. I believe that creates movement to the piece. In addition, I create depth of perspective to try to engage the viewer into the scene as if they were both in the scene and viewing it at the same time. Thank you again to the Art Altruist for including me in this very special event.
I'm Zach Zaitsev. My 50 Flags to an Entrance series is based on the symbols of the American flag, stairs and a door, and their symbols. I'm happy to support Artists in Crisis and the Art Altruist auction.
Hi, this is Rolando Chang Guerrero, and I serve as the chairman and the president of Art Synergy, the benefiting organization for the Art Altruist auction. On behalf of myself and the board, we would love to extend our deepest and most sincere gratitude to Camilla Webster and all of those involved behind the scenes who worked tirelessly during this pandemic to help organize this auction and make funds available for the local artists in crisis. Thank you.
Welcome again. We're going to have a question and answer section. If there's anybody that has a question for me in particular, you can ask me now, and if not, we can go on to perhaps Ezra or some other person that you might have a question for. If you have a question, the moderator will unmute you so you can ask me. Okay, well, as you know, the auction is actually tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time, and it's broadcasting live on liveauctioneers.com through the platform on the Hindman Gallery platform. And we're very thankful for them for waiving all their fees and doing all this pro bono work for us. It's been an interesting journey going through this event and making it happen. None of us have ever done anything like this on Zoom before, or on, without it being really live. So it's been a learning curve, to say the least. And as you experienced with the actual event tonight, it's a little more complicated than you would imagine. So again, I hope you will all try to bid on other works from other artists and try to raise money for the artists that we're trying to support in our Palm Beach community. And let's see, somebody's asking a question. Let's see.
Hi, Guy. It's Roberta.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I am trying to find, I guess, the link to view and look at bidding.
Okay.
And I can't find it anywhere.
Well, you can go on the artaltruist.com and follow that link, or you can go on Live Auctioneers and go on that way also.
Okay.
Liveauctioneers.com has it all available.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Anybody else have a question? I happen to notice Mr.
I have added the link to the chat room. So
thank you. There it is. There's the link. Yay. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Rolando.
Great, great. I happen to notice, Mr. Fern, your piece, you said you live in Kingston, New York, correct?
Are we muted?
No. No, you're not muted. You can actually speak to me. Is that your wife next to you, I assume?
Mr.
Yeah.
Clark, yes, it is. Thank you, everybody, for participating. But I work at 2 area hospitals in Kingston, New York. We live about 20 minutes from there in Saugerties, right next to Wood.
I know it well. Well, Kingston's interesting for me because the painting that I donated to this auction came from Hunt Sloanum's house in Kingston. Do you know where he lives? Okay. Well, if you were down at the wharf and you looked up, there's a giant Queen Anne mansion at the top of the hill that has a giant tower on it. And that's his house. He's lived there for, well, one of his homes. He's lived there for about 20 years. And we actually found this painting in the house and had to have it. My husband and I were obsessed with it. And so 20 years has gone by. It's about 20 years, might be 15, I forget. But it's interesting that we have a mutual Kingston connection.
Oh.
Any more questions for me or for anybody else, any of the other artists?
I have a question. I'm not sure how to raise my hand, but can you hear me?
Where are you?
I am on swipe to the right, maybe. I'm Stephen Ruda.
Hi, Stephen. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm the collage artist.
Yes, I see that.
So I wanted to ask you both, because Camilla is very caring, and I know she's very tuned into what's going on. I wanted to ask you both about the inception of this organization, the Art Altruist, and what it means to you, and particularly during this time, because it is such a special thing to do altruism in this time as a way of managing and coping. So I'd like to hear a little bit about what you have to say about that.
Well, I think Rolando can probably answer that question better than me. Rolando, can you unmute yourself there? Or Reese, can you unmute Rolando?
Hi, my name is Rolando. I am actually a visual artist and I own a gallery. About nine years ago, there was no periphery shows or fairs that surrounded the only art fair that came to Palm Beach, which was Art Palm Beach. So we founded an organization by artists for artists to get to turn the city into a vibrant after hours mecca. So we got all the different art districts involved to give all of our tourists and collectors that would come into town a flavor of what was being created. So we reached out to Palm Beach, we reached out all the way up to North Lake, all the way south throughout all of the county. and we had art walks, brunches going on Worth Avenue. So we had a whole experience, and from that we ended up raising some serious capital, and we've donated to environmental refugees that come over here for the children. So we get them backpacks, school supplies, art supplies. We do fairs and everything. But this time we found that the artists that gave so much and helped us build the organization so much, they were in fact in crisis. So in a conversation with Camilla, and Camilla was like, I am going to open up the Art Altruist, a new company that is strictly about experiences. And our kickoff is going to be this Hindman Auction, because we had decided to put an auction, a local small auction together. And a lot of the artists were at a level that they were not from the local art scene. So what they did was they actually contributed funds, and they bid on some of the work. So we had a very successful local auction, and now this is the national auction. And I am so grateful to all of you for donating your work, for donating your time, and so grateful to Camilla for organizing you all for our benefit here in Palm Beach County.
Well, I'm going to hop on. I'm sorry about the echo. I'm actually sitting not far from Rolando. I want to thank you all so much for donating. At the end of March, I called Guy Clark after speaking to Rolando, whom you've just heard from. And I said, Guy, we have to do something. And he's like, I know. And what an amazing friend, that when I said we have to do something, and I have this concept, that he wanted to donate this extremely high value historical work. You know, Tropical Flowers by Hunt Slonim is really important to the Hunt Slonim collector, because he regularly paints exquisite tropical birds and butterflies. But you don't, and bunnies, of course, but you don't see as many tropical flowers. And so for those who are passionate about Hunt Slonim, this is seeing him paint through a subject through a different lens, and it's very important to the avid collector. So, you know, at retail value, that painting retails at $26,500 at a minimum. So to have Guy commit that is also why we were able to bring our auction to Hindman Auctions, so that they would understand before we had any pieces, not the 28 we have now, or the 24, but just one, that this was going to be serious. And each of my dealers and friends and people I admire, all of you really stepped up to commit your art to this endeavor. I have a background in art and finance, and I always think about the future in multiple different ways. I like to think, I did my master's in Italian Renaissance artists, and I was extremely interested in the Dutch artists and Italian leaders like Da Vinci and Michelangelo, not just because of their skills as artists, but because of their leadership of guilds, of their understanding of civic duty, that they represented their countries to go and paint portraits of kings and queens, because it was truly political work. And so when this crisis happened, I understood that I had a network of people who could donate and who could acquire work way beyond, you know, my life as an artist. And I have tried to replicate the triple goal structure. So our goal tomorrow is to sell our paintings beyond our reserve, to sell the hell out of our leading highly acclaimed works by Slonim, Chihuly, the rare photos, the Polaroids from Walker Evans and others. But the second prong is to, you know, Joseph Conrad Firm said so beautifully in his video that his painting was about hope. I also believe in hope. And the second goal of this auction is to make sure all of you who are such talented and highly exhibited artists understand we can create a new exhibit space, a new experience in a world where we are socially distanced if we put our mind to it. So many of us have had very successful years exhibiting or being acquired by private collections or having museum shows. And I was not going to sit down and let that all go away. And I know how hungry collectors are, who missed Freeze, who missed so many of the big events. They are keen to see art, and we must find a way to deliver it. And of course, the third extremely important goal is to support artists in crisis. We had a wonderful creative in our space today, Rolando's gallery, the Box Gallery in West Palm, whose husband is on dialysis. And he does qualify for Medicare, but it only covers so many of the bills. So he's left with a couple thousand in bills a month, and their income has completely stopped. And so if you wonder to yourself, what am I doing? We will be sending out a link that will be a story by ABC News locally about just one of the artists that we're helping. And as I said in my outreach note to friends and family and collectors, we are not just artists putting paint on a board. Everything that we sit on, look at, experience was designed by a designer or artist, working with a company, a product developer, a leader, and our minds, our vision will be extremely important to how we move forward as a nation. So kudos to all of you for stepping up, for finding the time to record the videos, for being willing to have faith in our mission. We are committed to our journey this year to continue to show your work at a very high level, continue to tell our stories, and continue to support our art community and those beyond our art community that we know really need our help. You are wonderful citizens, dear friends, new friends, and I am so thrilled for what we have put together in no more than 40 days. So much love to you all, and thank you so much.
That's it. I don't know if they can be.
Thank you. I think you're all unmuted, which is wonderful. Camilla, thank you so much for putting this all together. Without you, none of this would have happened. And you're right. When Camilla says something, you join, you do it. You become part of the event. You become part of the excitement. And you know what's interesting? I actually met Camilla in a restaurant in Palm Beach, and she wasn't even living here yet, and I forced her to move here. And she has been my BFF ever since, and I love her dearly. And of course, when she asked me to help, I jumped right in feet first. So thank you, Camilla. You're my angel, as always. And
I love you too.
We have about 3 minutes remaining in this. Does anybody have any other questions?
May I just say one thing?
Yes, of course.
Since I've already said much. Our team at the Art Altruists, there's a behind the scenes team who are so creative and humble. They didn't even want to be listed. And yet without them, there wouldn't be a website. There wouldn't be your images.
No.
There wouldn't be a video.
No, it's like a.
I want to particularly thank Reese Blanca, who is not only an amazing photographer, videographer, part of my own support team, but the creator of the website, the editor of this video, the person who has dealt with my deadlines like a champion, and an artist himself, who through this experience is now about to be represented by one of the leading dealers in the world. So this is also what the Art Altruist is about. We are here to uplift all of us. If you see an exhibit or an experience or a grant, we will be sharing with our artists opportunities that come our way, and I hope you will also share them with us, because we have a phenomenal group of contemporary artists that would be A-listers at any New York gallery, and I was very committed and dedicated to
making sure that the artists who joined us had legs. And you have legs. Many of you are already extremely famous. And
Camilla, we're down to less than a minute, just so you know.
I'm thrilled.
Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you for people who contributed, who donated their time and their efforts. And we hope that this becomes a huge success. And we hope that it also continues on after tomorrow and that we can continue doing good works as we move forward. Thank you again.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the privilege.